I don't know about them winning no playoff series, but I know somebody up here better start talking to me about Julius Randle boxing up Wemby last night in the fourth. I bet you that. Somebody better start talking to me. I don't know who, but somebody better start talking.
We're not talking about that game yet, but it was
somebody
really
better start talking to me. I'm watching Julius Randle box Wemby ass up in the fourth last night.
That
I know that
happened.
I know that. Now,
Who
as
does he
you were
want to
saying,
talk to? What was that? That was just a random out west. Okay.
That's what we do around here. We have random outbursts, and I'm old.
You know what?
So from time to time, like I might have random outbursts. Yes, I do. And one of my random outbursts.
We're here now, chill. So let's talk about it.
I'm just saying. No, what was
the Minnesota Timberwolves? No. We're here.
No, we're off the Suns now. Yeah,
we are off the
Suns. We're going somewhere else now.
Okay, so now we're going somewhere else.
Minnesota Timberwolves, San Antonio Spurs, Victor Wembanyama, Anthony Edwards. Ant hits a game winner. Victor Wembanyama was cooking until the fourth quarter. What happened, fellas?
Well, I'm gonna steer this conversation.
Yeah,
right
you clearly got something to get.
Yeah, you clearly have things you want to go off your chest.
Yes, I do. And the reason why I do is because I heard my man Ox. My man Ox uses the term "little ass boy." That's the term he uses. Yeah, the term he uses is
boy.
Yeah, that's the term he uses. Little ass boy. And we literally just got talking about impacting winning as a bucket getter and in other spaces. So if my shot isn't falling, how else can I impact winning? Well, can I be a better ball handler? Can I be a better playmaker? Can I get on the glass? Well, one of the things I saw from Julius last night was something that I hadn't seen from him in the past. Normally a guy will just fade. He didn't do that. In fact, he brought the fight to Wemby. I can tell you what you're going to do, Wemby, if you're going to score. You're going to score buckets on me, and they're going to be hard as hell. I'm going to body you. I'm going to push you. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be in your jersey every time you have the basketball. I'm going to be underneath you. And he made it difficult on Wemby every time Wemby got the ball. On top of that, when we get late into the game, because Julius wasn't making shots, you know what else I can do? Because Mars and I have had this conversation, and Mars isn't particularly fond of him. I think Julius Randle is a glass cleaner. He got an offensive glass last night. He had some putbacks, which were huge when they were trying to get back in the game. And on top of that, he stepped aside and let Anthony Edwards and others take the game over, which is why they were able to sit Rudy up until I want to say like 4 minutes left. And then Rudy ends up getting the foul, which I almost snatched this TV off the wall, Ox, when Rudy got that foul. And the reason why real talk is because Wemby's coming across the lane. I'm a big guy. This is taught basketball 101. Ox, you ain't just going to let me run across the lane and get to the box.
Right.
You're not going to do that. What you're going to do is you're going to put your forearm in my chest. No foul, because Wemby, who's 175 pounds, fell over because he came across the lane and Rudy put that forearm in his chest. Foul. I'm like, I'm going to lose my mind because that's not a foul. But anyway, I appreciated what I saw from Julius last night as a guy who gave up buckets and replaced that with physicality. And in addition to physicality, he replaced that with dirty work. And that's why they ended up winning last night.
Yeah, they were. It was with 11-13 left in the fourth quarter. It was 85-74, and then by 3-13, whatever it was 96-96 all. And a part of that was because, to your point, I noted this on the show last night that he had 2 possessions on offensive rebounding where Stephon Castle was the weak side roller with him, and then he just bullied Stephon Castle out the way, pump fake, put back on Wemby. But one of the things Wemby struggles with and continues to struggle with and probably will continue to struggle with until he figures it out, he doesn't do well with players that are smaller than him, that are way stronger than him, because he just can't get them off the spot. Even if he wants to do a turnaround, they're just like pushing him away from his spot. And Julius did that really well last night. And so he deserves a lot of credit. Him and Jaden deserve a lot of credit for the last few defensive possessions they had down the stretch of the game. And winning 104-103, especially the way that they did it, that was a really, really impressive win for the Wolves. And I think if I have my numbers correct, if I remember correctly, the Wolves have the most wins in the NBA since Thanksgiving, I believe. And so I think that matters a lot. Obviously, there's been injuries in the league that kind of helped that. But the Wolves still being able to bounce back like they have till they climb back up to where I want to say their current record is the Nuggets are 26-14. 13. I think the Wolves are 26-14 right now.
Yeah, they're a half game behind you guys.
Yeah, but the Nuggets have the tiebreaker, so it's really one game because they're 3-0 versus the Wolves this year. But for them to start where they were and then to be where they are now, like there's a real world where they end up at the top 3 seeds still. Like they've been that good this year.
They have been. Yes, they have.
You know what's funny about the Timberwolves? They never get talked about, in my opinion, how they should, which is consistently one of the better teams in the Western Conference. Like every time we talk about contenders in the West, even this season, the Thunder get brought up, Denver gets brought up, the Rockets get brought up, Spurs, because they've beat OKC recently twice or 3 times or whatever it is, get brought up. Minnesota's been in the Western Conference Finals the past 2 seasons for a reason. They're a really good team.
They're a game and a half off the 2 spot. Just so you know.
Exactly. They're a really good team. And Anthony Edwards just continues to get better as a basketball player. And so does Jaden McDaniels. And I think that duo on the wing, number one, Anthony Edwards, his scoring arsenal is off the charts. The way he was able to close that game, hitting pull-up shots, got that little got Wemby out of position with the handle, bumped him off, kind of put him in the chamber, then went hit the floater soft off the glass. Anthony Edwards, his growth as a passer, playmaker, and scorer, the growth of Jaden McDaniels, him being a more consistent offensive player. Dante DiVincenzo is finally starting to hit some shots. Because mind you, the reason why people always criticize Anthony Edwards, he doesn't average that many assists. Minnesota has been like bottom half of the league as far as 3-point percentage as a team. Dante's finally starting to hit some shots. They're a really good basketball team. And I think that we need to consider them one of the contenders in the Western Conference, period.
Yeah, well, real talk, this week, this Thursday, we are going to play our little tiers game. And we're going to see which teams are where in the NBA. So I'm curious to see where the Wolves are going to fall, curious to see where the Spurs are going to fall. But real talk, I agree with you. I like the Wolves a lot. They clearly have a track record over this last couple seasons with Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Rudy Gobert. They're going to win with those 3. And then you add Julius in. They won last year with Julius. So I'm like, we know with this core that they have that they can win. I just think that they're one piece away.
Can we be honest?
I'm not going to tell you what it is. I don't know what it is. I think they just need one upgrade. Could be a minor upgrade, could be a major upgrade.
I think they need one more ball handler. That's what I would say for them as a unit. Mike Conley isn't that. I don't think Dante DiVincenzo is that either when he's on the court with Ant. They use him more so for spacing than anything else. I think they need one more guard to replace Mike Conley and produce at that position. I think they'll be right there with anybody in the league.
Well, let's be honest. The reason, real talk, that people don't talk about this team being that good of a team is 2 people. Julius and Rudy. If Julius and Rudy wasn't on this team and it was 2 other guys on the crew and they was doing the same thing, this team would be a legit contender. But the fact that Julius is on the crew and Rudy is on the crew, I don't know, man. I mean, this team isn't very good. You can't play Julius at this point. Rudy Gobert can't score. He can't catch. The Mike Conley is old, which I think that's true. But I think that's the main issue that people have with this Minnesota team. Those 2 guys alone. Because if you take those 2 guys off the crew and you put 2 different guys on the crew and they still playing it the way they're playing, we'd be talking a lot differently about Minnesota than you'd hear a lot differently about Minnesota than you do now.
And I get the frustrations with Minnesota too, because I've started to watch a lot of Minnesota because Ant's my favorite player in the league now. And so
you keep switching.
Ant's my favorite player in the league now. So I watch a lot of the Minnesota games. And I will tell you, I understand frustrations from Minnesota fans. Because one game, they look like the best team in the league. And then another game, they go out there and get smacked by Atlanta. And it's like, wow, y'all suck. And like that, it's like this a lot with Minnesota.
They're a very emotional team. Yeah. And they're a very emotionally led. And like I said, I had the Wolves coming into the year. I think they're a top 4 team in the league. I think that they're going to continue to be that this year. I think they'd be the best team in the Eastern Conference at this point. They're just playing the West, and I think there's, they're a lot of this is going to be the same thing it's been for them the last 2 years. They got to get some luck on their side, I think, to make it through like in a playoff run. But I think they can legitimately be in the Western Conference Finals again. I mean, they're that good. Anthony Edwards is incredible. Rudy Gobert, as I've said, I think is the most important player on the team because he makes it all work. Like, Ant can lift their offense, but they have to have their defensive anchor. They are a wildly different team when Rudy Gobert is not on the floor, like a much worse team. And so his viability to playoff series is going to matter. Jaden's been good this year. Yeah, I mean, they just have really good roster, man. Julius Randle been balling for the most of this year. Yeah, Nas is good, man. But Nas, brother, he is a I don't even know how to describe him, man. He is a scorer. He's like he's basically Jordan Clarkson for them, but he plays a big position and he's not a defender at all. Like he can space. He can go space cadet badly, and he can make some really bad decisions too. But when he's locked in, and particularly like versus matchup that he has a favorable advantage in, he's a really, really valuable player to play. And they do have a backup big. Somebody in the chat, they just don't play him a lot. It's the white boy they have. He's just as young, but he's good. Mars, how do you say his name?
What white boy?
Are you talking about Zakowski?
Yeah, he's good.
Berenger is probably ahead of him.
Both of them are Berenger's the one I like.
But yeah, I mean I like both of them, but Berenger is like more fluid, more mobile. But yeah, they have options. I think just young options. On the Spurs side of things, their two young guards have been trash for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's not helping them. I think that's why they've been struggling recently. They need their three guards.
Last night either,
but Fox has been kind of up and down recently. But like they need their three guards to be playing at a high level. To get this team to their ceiling, and that's kind of the issue when you're relying on young guys on a team that's trying to win. Dylan Harper hasn't been good for a while. Stephon Castle hasn't been good for a while. De'Aaron Fox has been up and down. And I think what makes them so unique and hard to guard is when you have all three of them as like viable threats offensively, who can dribble, drive, get feet in the paint. But recently they've just been bad. I think that coincides with their struggles as a team. So hopefully they can pick it up sooner rather than later.
Bones Highland being their lead option off the bench, that's going to be tough for them, I think, when it matters.
Yeah, Rob Dillingham will be ready by then. Don't worry. Rob Dillingham will be ready.
Yeah, the Wolves would play right now. They will play OKC in the second round. The Nuggets will play the Spurs in the second round. So that would just depend on
you. I mean, that kind of goes without saying. But I'm saying, like, as of right now, anything could fluctuate. The Spurs could stay at number 2. The Spurs and the Wolves could flip-flop. Both teams could drop to the 4 and 5 seed. However, I'm saying if you had to put money on one team right now, going forward, who would go deeper in the playoffs? And that's all matchups included. Who basically is most playoff proof?
I'm putting my money on Minnesota. I just think that they have more ways to attack a team offensively. I just think the Spurs, come playoff time, it's going to be very interesting because I think you put a bigger wing on Wemby. And then I also think that if you have a rim protector on your team, you may end up putting him on potentially one of these guards for the Spurs, because I think that's going to end up being the weakness for their team is outside shooting on a consistent basis from their perimeter players. De'Aaron Fox is having a good 3-point shooting year. Even as a Fox fan, I don't look at Fox as a shooter like that. I don't look at Stephon Castle as some kind of knockdown shooter either. So it's going to be interesting. I think teams will find some ways to really deter their offense from being efficient. And I think that'll be the death of them when it comes playoff time. But I think their defense will be elite in the playoffs.
Well, Swiper, the biggest problem when you have young players, you have extreme highs and then you have lows. And this time of the season is the time of the year where I've always felt like you're going to get a lot of those lulls. I think this is the time of the season where teams get separated. And to my point, Mars, I don't know if you know this, but since they beat Oklahoma City, they've lost 5 of their last 9, including 3 of their last 5 games since they beat Oklahoma City. They were riding a ridiculous high after they beat Oklahoma City. And that was almost like the championship for them. Like it kind of gave me the feeling like they thought because they beat Oklahoma City, both of those games, that, okay, we've arrived. The rest of the team, the rest of the league is put on notice. When in reality, the rest of the league was still looking at them like, we ain't impressed. Okay, y'all beat them, but y'all can't beat us. And they've really struggled. Castle has struggled with his jump shot. He struggled with his strong hand pull-up. In addition to him struggling, I got to make sure I get his name right. It's Champagnie or Champagne? Champagne. I'm sorry. He had a stretch where he was shooting the ball really well, and then it kind of went the other way. Fox has been up and down. I don't know what it is with Fox because we get into the fourth, and he actually does well, but it's throughout the course of the game. It's almost like his shot is left.
Chill, it pisses me off. Chill, it's like he doesn't actually start trying to play basketball until the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I don't get it, man.
It's like if you played like this 1 through 3, they'd probably be up 15 right now.
Really, to be honest with you, I watched them. I watched them, and Fox isn't nearly as aggressive. And I can appreciate pacing yourself. I can definitely appreciate that. But when you're having games where you're going against Western Conference teams or divisional opponents, like, we need to win. These are games that we need to win. And when you go up against a Minnesota team where this is a team that you could possibly see in the playoffs, like, that's a game that you have to win. And when you up, I want to say they were up 19 in the third. And I understand that the game is a game of runs. These are games that you have to win. Have to win. And I'm not buying the logic. You know, Wemby's on a minutes restriction. He played 8 minutes in the fourth. He played almost the whole fourth quarter.
De'Aaron Fox over his last 8 games is 8 of 53 from 3.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. Where the chat throw smoke and the host go ham. You ain't never seen hoops all hit the raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. This that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.